What's up, guys? This week is spring break for like all of the local schools here. And so Kellen and I were thinking of a YouTube episode topic for this week. And I remembered that earlier this week, I saw all over social media about how Miami has like canceled spring break. They've basically said, we're done with spring breakers. You guys are ruining Miami, and we're going to put all these crazy laws into place to keep people out and to discourage tourism basically during the month of March, because of that's when colleges are out in spring break. So I did like a decent amount of research. I did find a couple of like articles and TikToks that I felt did a good job of explaining kind of what's going on. So if you live in Florida or you live in Miami specifically, you're probably like, okay, no duh, like we know this is going on. But I will say a lot of people clearly don't know this is going on and are still going to Miami anyways, and getting there and being completely shocked with like everything that's happening.
Right, what's up, guys? Okay, so kind of as Emily explained, we're gonna kind of do like a little spring break episode, but like not in the way that like we thought. It's like when we dove into this at first, we kind of thought it was gonna be like, oh, like cringy spring break videos that like frats make and like haha hee hee, like dumb shit that you kind of do. And then like kind of as we got into it, it was like, oh shit, like there's a lot of differences in spring break this year. Miami specifically, like the state of Florida, I guess, is kind of like, this is obviously like also pre-knowing a lot. Like I haven't really dove into it yet, but like the gist, like I said, I'm understanding. Because I didn't know about it until like Emily brought it up while looking for a topic for this. So like I didn't really know, and I kind of think that a lot of people don't know, because I had a couple people that like I work with that are like going to spring break to Miami this week. So like I don't think that it was known, and like we talked about them going to spring break, you know what I mean? So like I just feel like not many people knew, but I guess the state of Florida is like kind of just saying like stay away from us this year, like we don't want any type thing. And specifically Miami is being like, don't come here, we don't want your business, like we don't really care about it. And honestly, like there's a part where like pre-opinion, I'm into it. Like pre-opinion, I think it's actually aggressive to be like, oh, we don't want you, like this is like a tradition we do every year, but like also at some point like traditions need to die. So, and like you're destructive and like not respectful to people who live there and like their community and what Miami's about. And yeah, it's about partying and having a good time, but also at the same time it's not about destroying their beaches and destroying their homes and their businesses and like all the stuff, like, and just being in the service industry, like I'm sure that like even those workers are so run down. Like money might be great, but like at the same time, like you just want it to end. Truly, like you should not feel ungrateful, but like just the way that people act when they're drunk and so disrespectful, like I can assume that like it's not a good time.
So if you don't know what's going on, here's a brief little explanation. Last week, I think Ron DeSantis, which like, oh my fuck, I could do a whole video on what a terrible human being that guy is, but basically made the statement saying like Miami is going on lockdown essentially from spring breakers. He announced that he was dispatching 140 state troopers throughout the Sunshine State, with 45 of them in Miami Beach specifically, to keep ruckus spring breakers in check during the annual ritual. They're deploying like militarized police forces to keep people under control, coming off the backs of what happened last year in Miami during spring break. 2 people were fatally shot and killed, which like horrible. But this also kind of goes back to the question of like, maybe gun control is the issue. But who am I, you know? I guess every year Miami gets insane. I feel like especially in recent history, Miami has been very on trend for places to go party. I mean, rappers sing about it. People talk about it on TikTok. We have so many celebrities that like vacation there or have houses there. So it's a very like desired place to be. And when you're 20 or 21 and you want to go get lit and you want to go like relive a Drake song, like you're going to go to Miami. However, all of these laws that have been put in place are kind of, I would say, borderline insane. Let's just watch the video that the city of Miami put out.
Hey, we need to talk.
Maybe we can talk when you're done with your spring break phase, but
Until then.
Sassy. This is sassy. It's a lot. Like they're okay, it's like a very serious thing. Like Miami is breaking up with spring break is crazy. Like the campaign for that, like we're breaking up. It's crazy. Also the sassy at the end, like we'll see you maybe like when you're over this phase is what? What? The sass in this video is crazy, but also like low key, there's a part of me that gets it. Like I get the fact that like you don't want people there, and it sounds like crazy because I know Emily was just saying like, you know, that's kind of excessive and they might be like overdoing it, but at the same time, like it's almost if you do it like lax, like, oh, we're gonna have police there and there's gonna, you know, be some extra like precautions this year. Like people aren't gonna give a fuck. People are still gonna come and be destructive and not care and be disrespectful and do all the crazy things and just make it a party for whatever they think it is. Like to their point, like, do you even remember? No, you probably don't. Like, so if they were just like, oh, we're just gonna have a couple extra police officers, like no one would care. And it's like the only way you're going to get people to care is if you do like the most obnoxious, crazy thing. And I think that's just kind of where they're at, like Florida as a whole, like kind of just, and specifically Miami, just.
I mean, they said what they said. You know what I mean? They're like, there's going to be DUI checkpoints out the ass. They're bag checking to get onto the beach, whatever that means. Like you're going through TSA. They also have intense like age restrictions and curfews in place. So meaning like businesses will be shutting down at 6 p.m., including like nightclubs and bars and everything. Like everything's done at 6 p.m. I think they also enforced like an age restriction of like 23 years old. Enforce flat rate parking, which means like it does not matter where you park, even if it's free parking, like you will still pay $30 just to park there. Non-resident towing rates will be $516 plus the $30 administration fee. I believe like all parking garage starting rate is $100 just to park in a parking garage. Many short-term rentals, including those purchased on Airbnb and VBRO, booked for the time period of less than 6 months and 1 day, are illegal in the city of Miami Beach. Fines range from $1,000 per day per violation for the first violation to $5,000 per day per violation for repeat violations. So what does that mean? It means like you cannot book anywhere besides like a hotel. Like if you can't do a house, a lot of people vacation, they do a big group of people and they get a house. It's way cheaper than doing a hotel because hotels won't let you book more people than the like allotted beds. And if you do like an Airbnb, a lot of times like a smaller house can accommodate more people because the host allows for it or whatever. So this is just like another thing that's making it more expensive if you want to stay there, which I think is the biggest issue I have with all of this. All of these measures in place, sure, one could argue it's better for the locals and it's keeping people safe and blah, blah, blah. But all I'm really seeing is barriers to entry that only involve money. So it's like, who are you keeping out? Who are you keeping out? It's the kids whose parents aren't paying for their spring break. It's the people who are using the money that they earned on their jobs to go on vacation. I don't know. To me, like that feels very gross, but I don't put it past Florida. Ugh. It just feels very slimy. It feels very classist. It feels very much like, well, if the poor people aren't here, then no ruckus will be caused. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's always the Brads and the Chads that are causing the most fucking problems every fucking time. But I digress.
Some of them like are excessive, and like to her point, like yeah, the massive barrier entry is just money. But I think that like no matter where you live, like money is always going to be a part of traveling, right? Like if you're traveling somewhere, like you're expecting to pay the money. I think that it's like the Airbnb thing is crazy to me, because like now you're also just taking money away essentially from your own community. I don't know, kind of where I was going to before, like with the service industry, like so living in Nashville, like and being a part of the service industry, like you definitely benefit from busy weekends. Like actually this weekend going right now is like the SEC basketball tournament for March Madness is happening in Nashville, and it's happening literally right down the road from the restaurant that I work at, along with like cheerleading competitions and all those types of things. And like those things truly influence the amount of money that like myself and my friends make. Like so spring break, I'm sure, is like a time that like the service industry, like you're partly looking forward to because you're like, good, making money. It's gonna be a great couple of weeks where you make all that money, and like especially somewhere like Florida where like you definitely have down seasons of like the winter, where like spring and summers where you make your money, which is like opposite to in states. Like you don't make as much money in the summertime because everyone's traveling to somewhere like Florida. So like this is like their money making season. Like you're excited to hit the ground running again. But I know for like us, at some point, like enough is enough. Like at some point you cannot like handle the drunk people anymore. At some point you like are just over the amount of money you're making. You don't even care anymore because you're just like, ugh. Like dealing with drunk people is crazy. The amount of things that I've seen, heard, dealt with, I can make a movie and y'all would think I'm lying. Like you would truly think that I'm lying. But it's going to hurt the service industry. Like stuff like this, like if you're already paying $100 to go out and park, you're just parking your car for $100. Like that would have been extra money that I would have bought more drinks, or that would have been extra money where I would have got a nicer meal. So like you're kind of cutting into the industries in the local area for sure. And I mean, like living in Nashville too, like it's an expensive place. It's a party place. People come for the summer, for bachelorette parties, for spring break, for all different types of occasions to celebrate. I mean, they'll make drinking a celebration here. So like there's a lot of different things, like the party buses and the whole scene and the culture. Like it definitely is a lot. And I know that even like downtown Nashville is getting like way more strict. The parking is going up, like, but it's not stopping people. If I'm being honest, like it's not stopping people. These restrictions in Miami are totally different than what Nashville's doing, but like prices are rising. People don't care. Your vodka soda downtown is still $15. People don't care. They're doing it. So like, yeah, to Emily's point, like, yeah, you're just kind of keeping the poor people back. That's all. Because daddy's money's kids, they're still going to swipe his car. They don't care $100. What's it to him? You know, type of things. Like, I don't know.
Anyways, I thought we could also talk a bit about how, like, the comparison with living in a tourist city of like Nashville, because Nashville itself is a very like tourist heavy city. I want to say like the revenue that we make every day in tourism is like 10 to 20 million dollars. Like it's a crazy number, and that's how like heavily dependent on tourism we are as like a city to stimulate like our economy here. However, it does come with like a fuck ton of problems, especially for people who live here, and I don't know how you regulate it, because I feel like when you put things like this in that only seem to involve monetary barriers of entry to get here, it seems like you're targeting a certain type of person that you don't want here. And Nashville specifically, and I would probably say for most of like Florida as well, that's your primary demographic of people who are vacationing. It's a state that you can travel to that doesn't involve airfare, so it's quote cheaper to get to. It has a lot of options in terms of places to stay and to accommodate you for cheaper prices, like I was talking about with the Airbnbs. And there's activities to do that don't involve spending a ton of money. Nashville, not as much, but a beach is like a prime example. You can just go to the beach. Like you don't have to go do shit all day long and pay for things throughout the day to be entertained. So I don't know, if I was a business owner, I think as much as the trouble that the spring breakers cause, I would probably be a bit worrisome about enforcements like these, because I mean, if you're closing at 6 p.m. and you every year rely on this revenue to like keep your business afloat and pay your employees and whatever, it's kind of fucked to take that away from the people who work in these like service industry jobs. And also, like, I think about Nashville specifically, if we didn't have Broadway, or that's about it, like this would not be a metropolitan place. This would not be a metropolitan city. That is the one thing that's keeping this as fruitful as it is, and as like it's no longer like a pass-through city. It's like an actual destination that people go to on vacations, which is great for everybody. It creates more jobs, it creates more housing. I mean, it stimulates the economy. It does so much. At the same time though, I hear the argument of like, well, the locals hate it, but it's like I don't know what the solution is, but I don't feel like the solution is to make it only so a certain demographic can visit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, oddly enough, I never went on spring break ever. Didn't go on a spring break once. My friends, like, we just weren't into it. We didn't care. We didn't even go to like the beach, which like my hometown to a beach is like max 2 hours. So we didn't even do that. even like my junior year, I lived in Europe. So I kind of just was traveling for an entire semester. But like I didn't do it. So I was never a part of that. But also like not my scene at all. Not my like if you know me, like I'm not like that. I like to go have a drink or two, but like I'm not partying ever. Like that was just never my thing. So but I know Emily has. I know Emily, I'm pretty sure Emily's going on a spring break or two.
Personally, like in college, like I didn't ever do like one of those big crazy spring breaks. For spring break for 2 years, I actually went to Silver Dollar City and in Branson, Missouri with my parents and my best friend. And then what else did I do? I went to Cabo with my parents for 2 years too. I seem to just be like the crasher of my parents' vacations, and the Silver Dollar City thing was just like it was just close and random. I've thought that at the end we could kind of end the video with giving some suggestions of places to visit that not a bunch of people would think to go to for spring break, but they're like awesome destinations and that like you guys should check out. And some are like you're probably like, oh, don't think I would want to go there, but just hear me out.
Since I never went on a spring break, like I don't know. I guess I don't know what my suggestions would be, but it would be like, okay, have you guys ever watched Summer House? Because that would be my dream. Like me and my friends, we go, we have a house together, but like there's enough drama where like it keeps it fun and interesting, but like not enough. And then like also we know other people that are going to be in the same area, so we do like a little house party. Like you come over, we have a themed party. Let's have a good time type thing. Like I don't know. I don't really know exact destination. I feel like that's kind of where I'd started at.
First, I put Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, listen. I think there is like a real charm to Kansas City. I grew up going to Kansas City my whole life. I have family that lives there, and it is a lot different than it used to be. Okay, so it has gotten a lot bigger, and it kind of gives you a bit of a vacation, especially if you live in like a really small town, or vice versa. If you live in like a big city, it's kind of a nice break from the craziness. There's things to do, there's a lot of shopping, there's like good restaurants, and it's affordable to get to, especially if you live in the middle of America. Like you can literally just drive there, and it's not that far away from a lot of those just like central states. So I don't know, put that on your list.
Okay, I guess the place I would go would be like Lake Tahoe because like I've never been there. And it might be too cold to go to Lake Tahoe, but I feel like that'd be a good time. No? Like boats, jet skis, canoeing, you're on a lake, campfires. And you can like lay out just like you would at a beach because it's like the lake. I feel like a lake would be fun. Mm.
Another place is obvious, but like Chicago. I fucking love Chicago. And I think people forget about how big Chicago is and like how at the same time, it's not overwhelmingly large like a Manhattan. You know what I mean? There's a ton to do in Chicago. It's one of my favorite places in the entire United States is Chicago. I would totally live there. In the spring, it's still probably kind of cold, but I mean, who cares? You know what I mean? It's beautiful if you go in the summer. The lake is so pretty right on Lake Michigan, and they have like beaches, but I mean, you know what I mean? It's still Chicago at the end of the day. It's not like salt water in the ocean, but the beach is surprisingly beachy. Chicago's awesome. The people are so fucking nice in Chicago, especially if you've never been to Chicago and in your head you're expecting it to be like a New York vibe. It is not. It is not. It's Midwestern people operating a giant metropolitan city, and it is amazing.
Another place I would go to would be, and not that I've been there because I haven't, but I feel like I would go to Asheville, North Carolina. I hear amazing things about it. I know that there's like hippie, like vibe type things to do. Like it'd be a new experience for me, but also like witchy and like there's a lot of like spirituality and like cool restaurants and like there's like hot springs by there. There's mountains to go hiking out. There's waterfalls to go see. Like there's nature to be explored, right? While also having like a really cool earthy town. I've actually always wanted to go there, and I've heard amazing things about like the people there, the food there, the experiences, like the amount of things that you can go do there, and it also like not costs a lot of money. Because I think that's like the attraction to the beach. It's like you're gonna go to the beach to like sit and kind of like not have to spend money while you're on the beach, and like that way you can afford to pay for the place you're gonna be at or the transportation or whatever. So I don't know, like being able to like go on hikes and like be outdoors and like still be able to do the things that like don't necessarily cost you money. But it would definitely like require a group I don't think that's like wants to get drunk all the time, because like you're gonna be a little bit more active than just like hanging out on the beach. But I don't know, I feel like Asheville would be like a really cool place to go.
I'm going to shout out my home city of Bentonville, Arkansas. And you might be saying, why the fuck would I want to go there? You don't even want to go move back there. And I would say, touche. Very good point. However, there's a lot of charm about Bentonville, Arkansas that I think a lot of people would appreciate, especially if you're just going there for like a week, a weekend, whatever. Number one, if you're into outdoors, this is the fucking place for you. Arkansas is a natural state, okay? And a lot of people don't know that. It is one of the most beautiful states if you enjoy biking, hiking, mountain climbing, like whatever. We have it all there. Bentonville is actually, I believe, the most bikeable city in America? Question mark? I could have just made that up, but I think it is, or it's the mountain biking capital of the US. Something like that. It's crazy. People are biking everywhere there. It has that small town feel because it is a small town, but it also has like good restaurants. It has a really cute downtown, like a literal square, like an actual like traditional like square. So if you're into that kind of thing, a little low key moment, there's also a Crystal Bridges Museum there. So if you like the arts, we got that too. So go check it out. I don't know. It's cool. It's cute. It's easy to get to by car if you're in the middle of America. You know what I'm saying?
Arizona. And I like, it's crazy though, because like I just feel like spring breaks are like expensive for no reason. But I feel like Arizona could be cool because you could easily go to like Scottsdale and like y'all could have a house. And, like most of those houses come with pools, so you can have like pool days and like have, which like a lot of bachelorette parties do. And like you could have like friends or like your guy friends or more people down the street at a different house. Like y'all can just like pool hop back and forth. Like one day it's over here, we have a pool party. Next day it's over here, we have a pool party. And like you could do like themes and stuff. Also like really cool restaurants, really cool places to go shop. Like you could always go see a show in Phoenix. Like there's a lot of things to do. Like, and it wouldn't, you could literally still have that relaxing, like free, like time, but then you could also have like set things to go do at night that also just like, I don't know, I think would be like more educational, more fun, and more of an experience. Then also the cool thing about Arizona is like you have like Sedona and like Flagstaff, which is like a whole other vibe. Like you could be up there, you could still like be by the pool, do all the things, but then also like go for hikes, go on a spiritual retreat, like do some yoga. Like honestly, I don't know how long Flagstaff is, but I know that they have like ski resorts and stuff up there too. Like you could create a whole other experience. And
Southern California. I fucking love California. Specifically like San Diego, Carlsbad, like start in Southern California. This is what I would recommend you do. I actually did this with my family. It was so fun. Fly into LAX, rent a car, go drive to down to Southern California. Stay in however far south you want to go, because mind you, California is the entirety of the length of our country, right? So it's a big fucking place. You can't see it all in a week. But go as far down as you want. Take the car, drive up, stay like 2 nights in each city, make like a 7-day trip out of it, and then go up back to like LA County, and then you'll have to go do Northern California on a different trip, babes. We don't have time for that. That is it's one of the prettiest drives, is like going up the coast of California. It is so gorgeous. And B, it's very cool to see how different each area of the state is, driving through it and staying in it and seeing the different types of people that live there in each different city. It's so much fun. But yeah, I love Southern California. I would live there tomorrow if I could.
I think that's the thing that's like missing about spring break, and I think that hopefully people would learn, and like groups to come will learn with like Miami's restrictions, is like there's more to life than just drinking and partying and getting fucked up on a beach. Like great time, fun time and place, but like go with your friends and create a memory. Like go do something a little bit more, you know? Remember the time that you're with them. I don't know. I think those would be my suggestions.
Those are just some suggestions that are some things outside of like the typical spring break spots. That's what I could think of. Let us know your favorite spring break spots, your favorite vacation spots, some off the beaten path. And if you went to Florida for spring break, how was it? And was it as crazy as everybody's making it seem like? And if you went to Miami, was it insane there? I'm very curious. Let us know. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to stay tuned for Friday for the video version of the podcast, and we love you. Okay, bye.